towards the third layer as the network layer. This network layer routes the signal through the different channels from one node to another. Now, as the name indicates, this actually layer routes the signal through different channels from one node to another. Now, it actually acts as a network controller. It manages the subnet traffic. Now, it decides by which route data should take. Now, as we know, when we travel, actually we prefer the most, we actually avoid the congested roads, or the we actually avoid the mm, path which are less resistant and so on. So these things, or we actually follow the fastest path or the fastest route we choose while we travel. Now the same thing happens when the data packets has been sent from one place to another place. Now this particular network layer actually chooses the path from which the network has to be completed from transmitter to the receiver. It divides the outgoing messages into packets and assembles the incoming packet into the messages for higher levels. Now when we think of the network layer, we can think it as a transmitter and also as the receiver. It divides the outgoing messages into packets. Now you can see, as I'm referring to the network, as I'm referring to the physical layer, it converts, or it is having the information in terms of bits. At the next level, that means in the data link layer, we are having the bits has been converted into the frames, and to this third layer, these frames are being converted from frames to packets. Now this network layer is actually handling the data in terms of different packets. Now it when we are using this network layer at the transmitter side, then the frames are converted into the packets, and when we are using this network layer at the receiver side, this network layer, what it is going to do, it will assemble the incoming packets into the messages for the higher levels. Now the fourth layer is a transport layer. Now this transport layer actually, as the name indicates, it actually deals with the functions such as multiplexing, segmenting, or splitting on the data, and whether the data has to be transmitted from the simplex method, half duplex, or the full duplex method. Now the transport layer receives the messages from the session layer above it. It converts the messages into smaller units and passes it to the network layer. Now as you can see, we are running from top to bottom. That means first the application layer, then the application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transportation layer, and so on. We are moving from top to bottom. At actual, the data what we handle is in the application level. Now the application levels data has been down passed to the another layers, and finally it is been converted into the respective electrical signal to be passed through the Wi-Fi network or any LAN or MAN WAN network, you can say. Okay, now you can think of this transport layer can be very complex depending upon the network requirements. So if you are having multiple computers connected to the network and it demands the remote places to involve, then this transport layer can be very complex. It may include multiple nodes and the full duplex conversation also. Now the transport layer breaks the messages or the data into small chunks that can be handled efficiently by this network layer. We will move towards the next layer as the session layer. Now this session layer manages and synchronizes the conversation between two different applications. Transfer of data from source to destination session layer, streams of data marked and resynchronized properly so that the ends of the messages are not cut prematurely and data loss is avoided. So actually this session layer actually performs the conversion of one application to another application. Many times it happens that when we convert one application's data into another application, some of data may get lost. So this session layer actually ensures that no data has been lost over this conversation. Now the next layer is the presentation layer. Now this presentation layer takes care that the data is sent in such a way that the receiver will understand the information and will be able to use the data. So the data what we are going to handle over the receiver should understand what it is actually. So this presentation layer takes care of it. While receiving the data, presentation layer transforms the data to be ready for the application layer. So the presentation data is going to provide its output to this application layer. Now the languages can be the different of two communicating system. So under this condition, the presentation layer plays a role of translator. So if the transmitter and receiver both are using different languages, then this presentation layer actually acts as an translator. It performs the data compression, data encryption, and data conversion. Now I will brief these three terms together. That means the data compression. Likewise, if you are sending some of one MB data to the another computer. Now what I can do, I can compress the data and send over the network. So the network should take the less time to receive it, and also the less resources can be used. Also the data encryption, like I told you before, like the encoding, the data encryption is another type of or another category of data security. So this data encryption is also done at this presentation layer. Like at the transmitter end we are encrypting the data. At the receiving end we will decrypt the data by the same keys what we have used at the transmitter. Now the data conversion also, likewise I said, if we are using two different languages for two different computers, then this presentation layer actually acts as an translator. So data conversion is the process what is done at the presentation layer. Now the application layer. The application layer is a topmost layer. Transferring of file, distributing the results to the user is also done this layer. Mail services, directory services, network resources are service provided by the application layer. So when we are using an email service, it is actually we are working at the application layer. So after the application layer we are having this presentation layer, we are having this session layer, and so on up to the physical layer. Now this layer mainly holds the application programs to act upon the received data and to be sent data. So if I want to send a email from one computer to another computer, first thing what I will do, I will compose an email by using this Gmail for an example. So I'm working at this application layer. Now this application layer's data is being converted into the if the computer's language is different, then the same mail can be converted into another language. Then by means of session layer it will be handled over to the transportation layer. The transportation layer now will determine whether we have to choose a single path or multiple path. We are using the system as simplex or duplex or full duplex. These things decision can be made at each different layer, and after that the physical layer will receive the bits stream and will convert into the electrical signal which is to be transported or which is to be transferred from one computer to another computer over the LAN network or maybe over the Wi-Fi. Now we will see the merits, that nothing but the advantages of the OSI reference model. Now it models distinguish between the services, interface and the protocols. The protocols of the OSI model are very well hidden. The protocols can be replaced by the new protocols as the technology changes, so it can adapt the changes. Supports the connection oriented services as well as connection less services. Like I told you before, for the application layer, the physical layer may be supported to the LAN network, WAN or MAN network. Also it may be compatible, or it should have the linking capacity of it should have the link for the Wi-Fi, or it should have the wireless connections for the data transmission. Now we will see the demerits of the OSI model. No, the model was devised before the invention of protocols. So this model was there before the invention of protocols. So fitting of protocols is a tedious task. So now we are having a system, and now we are having to fit the protocols to the system. So it is much complex task we can think of. It is just used as a reference model. So as the name indicates, it is an ISO OSI reference model. It is just a reference model, and uh, many many changes has been adopted by this model, and they are named as different categories and the different things over the generations. So this acts as only a reference model to which we are having different changes, and we are using it as a different models. So these are information, this much is the information we are having this ISO OSI reference model. Thank you.